Does the war between Russia and Ukraine affect the United States? If yes, how so? Before we answer that question, let's first learn about why this war started in the first place. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has its roots in a number of complex historical, political, and cultural factors. The conflict has its origins in the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 when Ukraine declared independence. Russia has historically considered Ukraine to be within its sphere of influence, and the Russian government has at times sought to exert control over Ukraine's domestic and foreign policies. One major factor in the current conflict is the issue of Russian-speaking populations in Ukraine, particularly in the eastern regions of the country. Many of these areas have a significant number of residents who speak Russian as their first language and have strong cultural ties to Russia. In 2014, pro-Russian separatists in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk declared independence from Ukraine, leading to a conflict known as the Donetsk People's Republic or Donetsk War. The conflict has resulted in thousands of deaths and has displaced many people from their homes. Another factor in the conflict is the issue of energy resources. Ukraine is a major transit country for Russian natural gas to Europe, and Russia has at times used its energy resources as a tool of political leverage over Ukraine. In addition, there have been disputes over the ownership and control of resources in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. Overall, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is complex and multifaceted, and there is no simple answer to the question of its cause. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has had a number of implications for the United States and its relations with both countries. One significant aspect of the conflict has been the issue of sanctions. The United States, along with other countries, has imposed economic sanctions on Russia in response to its actions in Ukraine, including its annexation of Crimea and its support for separatist rebels in the eastern regions of the country. These sanctions have had a significant impact on the Russian economy and have contributed to tensions between the two countries. In addition, the conflict has had implications for the United States' relations with Europe. The United States has supported Ukraine in its conflict with Russia and has provided military aid to the country. This has resulted in increased tensions between the United States and Russia and has strained relations between the United States and some European countries that have more economic ties with Russia. Overall, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has had significant implications for the United States, both in terms of its relations with Russia and its role in international relations more broadly. What roles does NATO play in all this? NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a military alliance of 30 countries, including the United States, that was founded in 1949 for the purpose of collective defense. NATO is not directly involved in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, as Ukraine is not a member of the alliance. However, the conflict has had implications for NATO's relations with Russia and its activities in the region. One significant aspect of the conflict has been the issue of NATO enlargement. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, several former Soviet republics and Eastern European countries, including Ukraine, became NATO member states. Russia has viewed NATO's expansion as a threat to its own security and has opposed the alliance's efforts to bring additional countries into its fold. The conflict in Ukraine has exacerbated tensions between Russia and NATO and has led to increased military activity in the region. In addition, NATO has supported Ukraine in its conflict with Russia through political and military assistance, including the provision of military advisors and equipment. This support has contributed to increased tensions between NATO and Russia and has strained relations between the two sides. Overall, while NATO is not directly involved in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the conflict has had significant implications for the alliance and its relations with Russia. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.